The Danish Dynamite, Michael Laudrup, Christian Eriksen. Yes, Denmark has always been known for its quality players, yet has never been one of the favourites to win the Euros or the World Cup. Not even in the top 8. Well, Euro 2024 will be different for Denmark, and in today's video we will take a look at the 10 reasons why this summer will be a memorable one for the Scandinavian nation. 1. Experience generation. First of all, Denmark is currently experiencing one of its best footballing eras in the last 20 to 25 years. Not only that, but Euro 2024 will be the culmination of the Danish generation. Many thought that in 2018 and 2021, Denmark had the most competitive lineup, but that's not exactly the case, as in recent years, they haven't had a good striker to convert the goal-scoring situations created by Eriksen or Mathias Jensen, for example. They've had some really solid and experienced players: Kasper Schmeichel, Andreas Christensen, Simon Kjær, Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, and Christian Eriksen. Interestingly, this will be the 5th major tournament for some of these players, which is a testament to the experience that coach Kasper Hjulmand will have at his disposal.
Subscribed.
The most experienced of them all, of course, will be the team's talisman and current Manchester United player, Christian Eriksen. This will be an incredible 6th tournament for him, having also represented his country at the 2010, 2018 and 2022 World Cups, as well as the 2012 and 2021 European Championships. The match against Slovenia on 16th of June, in which Eriksen is expected to start, will be his first at European Championships since suffering a cardiac arrest against Finland at the last edition of the tournament. 2. Finally having a formidable striker. Before we talk about this vital subject, let's turn back the clock 6 years and look at the strikers Denmark had at their last 3 major tournaments. At the 2018 World Cup, Andreas Cornelius, Martin Braithwaite and Nikolaj Jorgensen. At Euro 2021, Kasper Dolberg, Martin Braithwaite and Andreas Cornelius. And at the 2022 World Cup, Martin Braithwaite, Kasper Dolberg again, along with Jesper Lindstrøm. Apart from the former Barcelona striker who taunted the Catalans by not wanting to leave the club in 2 seasons, the rest of the strikers are probably unfamiliar to most of you. This summer, however, Denmark will finally have a formidable striker in the form of Rasmus Højlund to add to the experienced players up and down the pitch. His goal-scoring record for the Danish Dynamite is impressive, with 7 goals in 12 games for his country. Furthermore, his move to Manchester United has given him the experience he needs under pressure, which could help him perform at a high level and inspired Denmark's attack at the tournament. At one stage in his first season at Old Trafford, Højlund was in fine form, scoring 10 goals in 12 games between December and February. However, an injury at the end of that encouraging period cut short his fine run. But he will be glad to know that he will be fully fit to play a major role in Denmark's attack.
Subscribed.
3. Historical motivation. Yes, as we can see from the title, it is a little-known fact that Denmark actually won the Euros in 1992. The way they achieved their only victory at a major tournament, however, is truly impressive, and even a little controversial. In 1992, Denmark failed to qualify for the Euros after losing to Yugoslavia in the qualifying round. The Eastern European country, however, was excluded from the competition by the United Nations sanctions due to the country's political issues. A few days before the start of the tournament, Denmark was allowed to enter the Euros as lucky losers. Well, they went on to win the whole thing after beating Germany 2-0 in the final. Another interesting fact about their triumph in 1992 is that their greatest legend, Michael Laudrup, had a falling out with a Danish coach at the time and took a 3-year break from the national team, missing the tournament. After Denmark's heroics in 2021, when they reached the semi-finals, they will be keen to raise the bar and repeat the success of 32 years ago. And if you want to add a bit of suspense to the equation, well, in 1992, Denmark beat no other than the hosts of this year's tournament, Germany. 4. Strong defensive unit. Yes, as we have seen above, Denmark have had a problem in the attack recently, but their defence has always been key to the success over the last 10 years. At the moment, They have some experienced centre-halves well into their 30s, such as Simon Kjær, as well as some excellent defenders in their prime. Andreas Christensen, Joachim Andersen are two such examples. The latter was arguably one of the most solid centre-backs in the Premier League this season, playing in every single league game for Crystal Palace, and was the main reason for their excellent defensive record. The Eagles finished the campaign 4th in clean sheets, 10 in total, and 5th in goals conceded per game, 1.5. Yes, indeed. Crystal Palace have been outstanding defensively this season, and Joachim Andersen could carry his excellent form into the Euros. On the other hand, his partner, Andreas Christensen, has also been solid for Barcelona, but in an unusual role for him. Indeed, the Dane had to play as a holding midfielder for much of the season, and Xavi's experiment proved a success, guaranteeing Christensen a place in the Barcelona lineup last season thanks to his excellent adaptability. Aside from their defensive prowess, both Andersen and Christensen have also proven to be effective in dead ball situations, with each netting 5 times during the campaign, including against Real Madrid, PSG, Girona, and Manchester United. 5. Solid, creative and flexible midfield line. We've covered the topic of defence and attack, but we can't ignore Denmark's midfield, which could be the key to big success at Euro 2024. Kasper Hjulmand has plenty of variety in his midfield, with at least 2 players occupying the same role. Firstly, we have the holding midfield role. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Thomas Delaney will be the main men here, with each offering a different style of play. The Tottenham man is the more solid of the two and is best suited to breaking up the opposition's attack and holding a more central midfield position. Delaney, on the other hand, is more of a roaming defensive midfielder, providing a physical presence in the middle of the park as well as playmaking. In the creative role, we have none other than Christian Eriksen and Mathias Jensen. Playing in the Premier League, both know what the pressure feels like. Unlike Højbjerg and Delaney, the two players here have very similar qualities, with Jensen having more stamina in his legs, while Eriksen has more experience and will be an excellent choice as a substitute in the second halves and potential penalty shootouts in the knockout stages. Finally, we have the wingers and outside playmakers, Mikkel Damsgaard and Andreas Skov Olsen. Both are young, but have something to give to this Danish team. Damsgaard already knows what it feels like to be a key player for his nation, having been in the starting 11 at the last European Championship and capping his superb performance with a fine free-kick goal against England in the semi-final at Wembley. 6. A favourable group. Yes, for some, being in the same group as England is anything but lucky, especially when you're talking about this team of the Three Lions. It's true that Gareth Southgate's side look even stronger than what they looked in Qatar 2 years ago, but let's not forget that Denmark have also their great players. Moreover, Kasper Hjulmand's men are the only team in Group C to have won the Euros, which might give them some confidence. On the other hand, even if Denmark were to get off to a bad start and lose to Slovenia on their first match, they would still have a chance of qualifying for the knockout stages as the third-place team, which, by the way, would give them an even better chance to go further in the tournament. This is because the runners-up in Group C will play the winners of Group A, which is likely to be Germany. On the other hand, the third-place team in Group C, assuming it is one of the 4 third-place teams with the best results, will play one of the winners of Group E or F, which will most likely be Belgium, Portugal, or why not, the Czech Republic. 7. Desire for payback after the failed 2022 World Cup. Another reason for a potentially memorable run for Denmark at Euro 2024 is their desire to forget the World Cup failure of 2 years ago.
Subscribed.
In Qatar, Denmark were drawn in Group D with Tunisia, France and Australia. And on paper, given their wonderful generation, they were destined to finish at least second. Surprisingly, however, they drew their first game against Tunisia and then lost to eventual finalist France, as well as Australia in the final round. With just 1 point from their 3 games, Denmark crashed out before the knockout stages. This should come as no surprise to anyone, however, as Denmark traditionally play harder in World Cups than they do in Euros. At the 2018 World Cup in Russia, Denmark also failed to go far after being knocked out by Croatia in the round of 16. 8. Eriksen is back where he left off last time. As well as being one of the driving forces behind Team Denmark, Eriksen will be keen to make amends for the bad memories from 3 years ago when he almost died on the pitch. The most astonishing thing is that Denmark, without their talisman, have managed to unite for him and reach the semi-finals for the first time since their Euro 1992 triumph. But to put things in perspective, 3 years ago, Denmark reached the semi-finals with almost the same squad as they have now, but without the support of Eriksen, and a brand new name that they have now, Rasmus Højlund. So what's stopping Denmark from repeating their heroics? 9. Impressive qualifying campaign. Yes, Denmark was one of the 10 teams that finished top of their group, which speaks highly for their potential during the tournament this summer. They were drawn in the qualifying group with Slovenia, Finland, Kazakhstan, Northern Ireland and San Marino, achieving 7 wins and conceding only 2 losses on their way to Euro 2024. With the same number of points as them was Slovenia, 22. But Denmark did not allow any surprises, winning 4 points out of 6 possible. Furthermore, Kasper Hjulmand's boys demonstrated a good success rate, finishing their qualification game with a +9 goal difference, scoring 19 goals and conceding only 10. Interestingly, Denmark was statistically the second best team in the qualification, as there was one team, Portugal, to have collected more points than the Danish Dynamite. 10. Tactical flexibility. And finally, one of the biggest weapons Denmark possesses, tactical flexibility. The coach, Kasper Hjulmand, is more than experienced with his team, as he has been the manager of the team for more than 5 years already. He knows perfectly which formation to use, depending on the opponent and timing. The two most used tactical formations from Hjulmand are the 4-3-3 and the 3-4-3. Compared, the two are very different, but both are pretty effective if used properly. Starting with the 4-3-3. This is probably the most used formation in modern football in the last 10 years, and Hjulmand employs it when he wants Denmark to control the midfield and apply pressure on the opposition. Additionally, it provides balance, having 3 players in the middle of the park, supporting both defence and attack. On the other hand, the wingers and fullbacks can create width and overloads on the flanks. Talking about the 3-4-3, this is actually the formation Hjulmand used during the World Cup, and it didn't work out as expected. It's used to exploit the width and provide defensive solidity with 3 men at the back. Apart from that, it allows for a far more attacking approach with wing-backs pushing forward and creating chances from wide areas while maintaining a strong defensive structure. By using this formation in the last Euros, the right-back Joachim Mayr brought himself onto the scene, being one of the most effective players in the team back then. Of course, he's expected to be the starting fullback on the right flank, just like 3 years ago. And this was all for today, guys. If you enjoyed our analysis, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more similar content. Also, give us your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Denmark will repeat the heroics from the last edition of the tournament? Or do you think they'll fail like in the World Cup, getting eliminated in the group stage? Thanks for watching, and until next time. Hey, GOF. Denmark might have an outside chance, but I reckon England will win it, mate.
Like and subscribe.